interesting stuff to you. So as of today, we will learn about business model canvas. I'm gonna adjust my screen. Okay, okay. Okay, so it's 10 a.m. and we will start now. So I'm gonna start presenting the documents. Hope you guys have a fun day today, and let's start. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen. So for today, what we will learn is we will try to understand in depth on the details for business model canvas. So first and foremost, why do we use business model canvas? So one of the key reasons why a startup or a company will start doing their business model canvas before or prior to launching to their ideas is actually business model canvas is actually a tool for planning. So inside the business model canvas, there's 9 parts, and all these 9 parts covers all aspects of their business. So the reason why we are doing business model canvas, because back then when you want to first start a business, what you actually do is you need to do a business plan, and business plan is a very long document where you actually pour in all your ideas onto that piece of documents, and at the end of the day you won't understand a thing. So you guys are wasting papers with bad ideas. So the difference between a normal business plan and a business model canvas. So business plan, there's no clear definition, there's no and there's too many words, and it takes a decade to digest the document because it's not a one-page document. As opposed to BMC, BMC only covers 9 basic elements of building a business. And the aim of BMC is for you to create a product and deliver value proposition. And BMC also visualize choices and opportunities that is available for you and your business. So basically, what is business model canvas? Business model canvas is invented by Sir Oswald, and what happened is there's 9 parts of business model canvas. And it helps you to design your business model. It is a tool that can help you to design your business model. So business model basically is the way you run your business, is how you generate your money. So again, there's 9 parts for business model canvas. There's customer segment, there's customer relationship, there's revenue, there's channel, there's value proposition, key activities, key partners, key resource, and cost. So how can you describe your business model canvas? So again, there is 9 parts of business model canvas, and for today we take Airbnb as an example. So as I go further, we will cover the 9 parts of BMC using Airbnb as an example, and at the end of the session I will share to you the business model canvas for Airbnb. So first and foremost, the first part of business model canvas is value proposition. So value proposition
Sir, I think you're muted.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sorry, sir, but we can't listen to you.
Okay, can you listen to me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
Yep.
Okay,
yes.
amazing. Very sorry for the hiccup. So, okay, do you want me to, is the mic off since the beginning of time?
No, no, no.
since
Just a
when
Okay,
No,
you
question.
probably 2 slides back.
talking about
okay,
value
so
proposition.
I'll continue with value proposition.
Yeah.
So for value proposition, as I stated just now, all ideas are solution. All ideas solves a problem, and it solves a specific person's problem. So why there's value proposition within business model canvas? In simple terms, value proposition is the driver, the key driver, or the key reason why your user is using your product as compared to your competitor's product. Maybe it revolves around the newness of your solution or the performance of your solution. Maybe the performance of your solution is better compared to your competitor. Or maybe you've customized your solution based on that problem specifically, and maybe your solution is a solution that can get the job done. So I'll give you a simple example. If there's, for example, as a Malaysian, if you need to buy a car, so there's two types of car. If you are at the lower tier of income, there's two types of car you might buy. You either buy Proton or Produa. So there must be a reason why someone buy Proton, and there must be a reason why someone buy Produa. So if I take an example, although Proton is one of the first car manufacturer or car company which is made by Malaysian, people often skewed and buy Produa cars. Why? Because the value that Produa cars give. Oh yes, Proton is a national car, and yes, Proton is a high. Is a high performance car as compared to Produa. But Produa is very clear on their value proposition, which is they are focusing on family cars. They are focusing on cheaper tier of cars, and they are focusing on the quality as opposed at the quality and the quality is matched by the price of the car. So that's why people focus on buying Produa. So when after this, when you write down your value proposition, number one, your value proposition needs to be very, very clear, and number two, your value proposition needs to be aligned with your product. So if your solution requires you to solve the problem faster, meaning that your value proposition should be faster as compared to your competitor. In your case, you actually write down your value proposition when you do your impact textbook. So your value proposition is actually at the competitors analysis part of the impact textbook, and how the value proposition part is actually the part where you describe how can you be better as compared to your competitor. So in a conclusion, value proposition is actually why people buy your product and why are you better as compared to your competitor. So in Airbnb's case, so if you compare the competitor for Airbnb, which is normal hotel, the reason why you want to go to an Airbnb is because number one, the host is very friendly. Number two, the price is very cheap. And number three, the trip is more personalized as compared to when you stay at a hotel room. So when you are staying at an Airbnb, the experience is much more localized as compared to if you go to a hotel room. And ultimately, the reason why you go to an Airbnb, especially if you are a backpacker or travelers on budget, is because it is fairly cheaper as compared to a normal price of a hotel. So that is the reason why people use Airbnb as compared to normal hotel. So we've covered the first part, which is the value proposition. Now goes on to the second part, which is customer segment. Customer segment is all the people and organization for which you are aiming to reach the market. So basically, customer segment will be usually divided into two, especially if you are building a software product. It will be divided into clients and users. Users are people who are using your app. clients are people who are paying to use your app. So I'll give you a simple example. If you are launching a simple game app, so your users might be the people who are playing the app, but your client might be the people who are paying to use the app, or people who are advertising on the app, or people who are actually trying to reach the people who are using the app. So the segment who are paying to use your service, or who are paying to get your value, is actually your customer segment. It is not just limited to your user. So maybe there's a few types of ways where you can describe your customer segment, but basically you just need to identify the nature of your business. Whether you are building a B2B business, meaning that you are selling your service to businesses, or you are building a B2C business, meaning that you are selling your you are selling your service or product to normal customers. And when you are trying to describe your customer segment, you need to be very specific. So we've covered customer segment in when you guys are building your customer persona. So your customer segment is not exactly your customer's persona in the sense of the name, the age, and the address. Your customer segment is the classification of your customer persona. For example, you can describe your customer persona as students. So it's basically it's category, demographic, behavior, characteristic, or based on psychology. So we've covered customer segment at the early stage of our class. So when you describe your customer segment, number one, you need to be very specific with the demographic of your customer segment. And number two, you need to back your customer segment with data. So if you're telling that it is good, I mean, when you sell to students, you can get a lot of money, you need to specifically describe how many students there exist there, there is in Malaysia. You need to specifically describe using first or primary data source on the size of your market and on the description of your customer segment. And you need to clearly describe that this customer segment is the one who will be paying for your products or service, and this customer segment will be the one who will benefit from the solution that you are proposing. So whether you how you want to know whether you choose the right customer segment or not is for you to identify based on your problem. Is this the segment that is facing the problem that you are trying to solve? If the answer is yes, that is your customer segment. If they are not facing the problem that you guys are trying to solve, means that that is not your customer segment. So in Airbnb's case, there's two types of customer segment. So number one is the guests. The guests who are coming to the house, who are subscribing to service, the guests who are actually travelers, who are actually go to Airbnb and book a house and stay at the house. So that is the guest. And another set of customer segment is actually the host. The host is the person who owns the house, who benefits from the monetary value of the house, and who are actually expert at that specific location. So when you are describing the guest for Airbnb, you can describe it in many ways. But one of the key things when you describe, number one, you need to describe that the guests are always travelers. Number two, the characteristic of the guest. Maybe the guest travels for backpacking, or maybe the guest travels for leisure, or maybe the guest travels for business. So each segment will require you to describe them differently, and you need to describe all of your customer segment. So if you have more than one customer segment, instead of saying I'm targeting the whole of Malaysia, you need to specifically target each customer segment. So if you are saying that there's many types of guests, describe the types of guests that you might encounter when you do Airbnb. So the next part is channel. So we've covered the first part, value proposition. So just as a recap, value proposition is the reason why people use your product. Customer segment is the segment, is the market that is using your product. The third part is channel. Channel is how your customer segment can get your product or can get the value of your product. So it is basically touch point where you are interacting with your customer, and it is the touch point where you guys are actually delivering value. So as of yesterday, we've take example of selling nasi lemak. So the channel of getting that nasi lemak, the yesterday's nasi lemak, is at the specific LRT station. So there's two types of ways where you can get your product, whether you can get it directly or you can get it indirectly. So you need to describe specifically how your user can acquire your product. Yes, you can say oh, they can get it via social media in the most general sense, but where specifically can they actually acquire your product? If you are building an app, the natural word would be the natural place for you to get the app would be App Store or Play Store. So there's two types, whether you can get it directly or you can get it indirectly. If you are building a physical product, direct means maybe via normal sales or via your web page or via your social network like Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. Indirectly, maybe via a wholesaler, distributor, or a partner store. So that is where your key partners plays a role. So after this, we'll describe your key partners. But one of the things that you need to really understand when you are describing the channel of your product is that is the touch point where you are interacting with your customer. That is the touch point where your customer receive the product and service from you. And that is the touch point where you are actually delivering value to your customer. So in the case of Airbnb, the biggest value or one of the channel that you can get Airbnb is via their Instagram page or their social media page. Why social media? Because Airbnb focus on aesthetic value. Airbnb focus on design. Airbnb is a travel company. So what they do is they leverage on their Instagram to actually showcase beautiful places. And using their Instagram, people can actually book that specific place. So their Instagram is an engine to actually promote the house that they are renting, and users can actually book specific venues on the Instagram if they were to be attracted to that specific place. So you look at Airbnb's Instagram profile, it's very complete, and there's a direct link. There's a link directly to Airbnb's website. So that is one one of the channels for Airbnb. So the next one is customer relationship. So value proposition is the key driver why people buy your product. Customer segment is the who that is buying a product. Channel is how they get the product. Customer relationship is the reason why they use your product once, second time, third time, and they continue using it without looking at your competitor. So your customer relationship is an outline of the type of relationship that you are establishing with your customer. Whether you are building personal relationship with them, or you are building a community, or you are building a self-serve relationship, or you are building automated service upon your customer relationship. So for example, if you are building a personal relationship, what you do is it is more like AirAsia. So you go there, the reason why you go by once and you go by second time, third time, etc. is because of the cheap ticket. So you go by AirAsia for personal reason. Or for example, if we can take another great example is Fashion Valley. Fashion Valley is one of the biggest it is one of the companies you want to look up to if you were to build a community. So the loyal followers of BB Yusof do not mind the price, the expensive price that Fashion Valley actually put. And then Fashion Valley, that it is so community driven, where the company itself is driven by the founder, and the founder has her own TV show, and the founder can basically launch any types of marketplace or technology and get their followers to become customers. One of the example is Fashion Valley Bazaar. So next one is self-serve community. For example, if I can take an example is Grab. So what Grab does is after you finish running a specific service, you can actually give comments to that specific service. So that is how they establish customer relationship. What they do is every time you completed a specific service, they will prompt you to actually give reviews and give comments on how to improve the service. And finally, automated service. So automated service is more on tech-heavy product, is more on software products. If you look at companies that constantly use email newsletters, or they ask you to opt into specific customers to specific deals. So it is considered as automated service. So the way you can make sure your customer come once and they come again and again is by you creating and establishing a strong customer relationship. Every customer relationship is based on the product that you are building, and I build on our side, we do believe in building a community of customers so that they can be loyal to you and they can support you in hard times. So, for example, for Airbnb, the way they actually maintain customer relationship is they constantly get user feedback, and they actually use the user feedback as one of the ways to rank the host. And ultimately, what they do is they provide insurance, they provide protection, and they provide messaging system for the customers to talk to the host. Next one is revenue stream. So I do understand that you guys are so passionate about building your product, but please, please, please remember, you guys are starting a business. You guys are not just building a product, you guys are not just building a service, you guys are starting a business. So one of the key things that you guys need to really focus on is how do you make money? Because a business is an entity that is profitable. So you need to be very, very logic in the ways of you making money. Number one, the way you need to make money, it needs to be legal. Your business needs to be legal. Your business needs to be logic, and your business needs to be practical. So when you are, prior to launch your idea, if you are starting a business in a highly regulated area, especially if you are starting business regarding drone, if you are starting business that is dealing with the government, please, 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 please check whether there's specific license that you need to do, whether you need to apply specific permit, or whether you need to deal with specific government agencies. So I see there's a lot of people doing financial technology, there's a lot of people doing drone technology. It is really good for you to think of those innovative ideas, but please, please, please be logic with your business. You need to understand the regulation that is associated with your business. And when you understand the regulation associated with your business, you can clearly see ways where you can make money. So revenue stream is the how and through which pricing mechanism is capturing value from each customer segment. Meaning that you are not making money by just selling your product. You are making money by delivering your service. You are making money by solving your problem. So, for example, what you can do is you can add usage fee, subscription, leasing or renting, advertising, freemium or premium. So, I think one of the key words is freemium or premium. So, freemium is a free app. I'll give you an example like Clash of Clans. I think we've touched on this. So how we describe freemium is it is free up to a point, and you can pay for it to become premium. So premium app, it's like YouTube or Shopify, where you can pay a certain amount of money for you not to get advertisement. So why do you need to capitalize on the value? Because if you capitalize on the value that you have, you can actually ask for more money. So for example, the guest and the host. So we have to, as we have established initially, there's two types of customer segment that Airbnb have. The first type is the host, the second type is the guest. So the guests provide the place where people can actually stay, and the host provide the place where people can actually stay, and the guests will go to Airbnb's website and be a customer for Airbnb. The way Airbnb generate money, the way they actually create a revenue stream based on the value is if the guest wants to stay, okay, the guest have a problem. The problem of the guest is they need a place to stay. So when the guest wants to stay, Airbnb charge a rental fee. And when the guest wants, and then the host, on the host's side, the value that they get from Airbnb is mostly monetary. So when the guests pay rental fee to Airbnb and relay the rental fee to the host, in between, Airbnb actually take a cut out of it, meaning that Airbnb take a cut because they actually provide a place for the host to make money. So the guest goes to the host to stay at their place, and the host provide a place for the guest. Airbnb as an intermediary for the guest and the host to do financial transaction. So that's why they can get percentage from both guest and host. So if you are building a two-sided marketplace, make sure that you are serving both sides of the marketplace. Then only you can charge both sides of the marketplace. I'll give you an example. So for example, Grab. The one that benefits from Grab is the driver and the passenger. So the driver gets money from driving Grab as a service, and the passenger can get from point A to point B efficiently. So that is why Grab can charge two-sided. They can charge a certain amount of percentage to the user, which is the passenger, and they can charge 20 to 25% to the passenger. Same goes to Grab food. So they charge on the two side of the market. They charge on the delivery riders, they charge on the restaurant, they charge on the people who are buying the food. So the restaurant gets benefit by having more access to market. People or the people who are ordering food get values by not going out and can get their food delivered, and the riders can get values by delivering the food and getting a pay cut, a cut, or getting a pay when they actually complete each delivery. So whenever you want to make money, make sure that you are actually giving out value when you want to make money. So next part is key resources. Part number 6, key resources. So key resources are the resources and asset that is required to sustain the development of your business. So one of the key things for key resources is it is not an organization, it is not an external party, it is being used internally. So for example, the key resources should be something, it can be something physical, for example, tools or raw materials. It can be human, meaning that it can be know-how or knowledge or know-who. For example, if you are building a nasi lemak company, your key resources should be the makcik who are cooking the nasi lemak. Next one is intellectual property, maybe the design, your brand, your patent, your technology. And finally, of course, is the technology. What makes you unique? Maybe it's your software. So those are the key resources. Key resources is something internally, and if you do not have your key resources, it means that you can't run your business. So for example, if you don't have the people who knows how to build your solution, meaning that you can't start just building your solution, meaning that you can't start business. So key resources is something that is driving your business on the daily activity. So for example, the key resources for Airbnb, number 1 is the app itself. Number 2 is the location, meaning that the number of location that is available, that Airbnb is available. Number 3 is the host itself. So the host can be considered as a key resources, because if you do not have the host, or if you do not have the location, or if you do not have the house, the content of the website, you can't run your business. So the next part is key activity. Key activities are the important things that you do on a daily basis. So if you are building a nasi lemak company, your key activity would be promoting the nasi lemak, cooking the nasi lemak, and selling the nasi lemak. So if you are building an app company, your key activity revolves around production and R&D, marketing your app, networking with other people such as investors, and one of the key things is problem solving. Problem solving should be one of the main agenda for your key activity. So when you describe your key activity, you do not need to describe it as a single word, meaning that production, R&D, network marketing. You need to describe it in a way where you are building an SOP or standard operation procedure for it. So when you describe your key activity, you describe the why you do it, how you do it, and what happened if you don't do it. So you can check out key activities during the impact textbook. Yesterday we have touched on key activities, the before sales, during sales, and after sales. So that the activity part is the key activities that you are doing before, during, and after sales. So for Airbnb, the key activity is new feature or constantly adding new feature, constantly growing the number of customer, the number of hosts, and the number of guests, and ultimately R&D new product, because the nature of Airbnb, it is a technology company, it is an innovative company, so they do research and development on a daily basis. Next part is the key partner. Key partners are other suppliers or partners that you rely on in order to execute your business. So one of the key things for key partners is it is always the third party. For example, it is the agency that you are dealing with, it is the government that you are dealing with, it is the one who gives you permit or license to do your business, it is a local authority that you deal with in terms of regulation and laws. So usually it is an established firm, or it is a service provider, and it can also be another startup that you are collaborating with. So the reason why you have key partners within your organization is because you don't want to do everything. As a business, there's too many things to do on a daily basis. So if you can reduce certain parts of your job and submit to your partners and ask your partners to do it, it would be, and if it can make your business more efficient, by all means you should do it. So one of the key things why you need to have key partners is it's either because you need to have it due to legal reasons, such as you are dealing with the laws, or you are dealing with a specific regulation, or you are doing it for cost reason, because certain things are too expensive for you to build in internally, or for you to buy in and make it your key resources. So what you do is you actually partner up with specific people and to reduce the cost, or to actually use their technology. So for Airbnb, the key partner is the accelerator that they join, which is Y Combinator, and it is also that one of the key partners that they have also is the marketing agency or social media agency that is responsible to market them. And another thing, another key partner, another segment that they can actually consider as their key partner is the host himself. So yes, the host is part of the customer segment, but the host can also be part of the key partner, because Airbnb, number one, Airbnb charge the host a certain amount percentage, and the host is there for a reason, which is they actually want to get some benefit in terms of money. But at the same time, why Airbnb can consider a host as their key partner, because the resources or the location that is available on Airbnb, it is by the host. So it is at the best interest of the Airbnb if they can treat the host not just as a customer, but they can treat the host as a partner, because it will be mutually beneficial for them. And finally, the photographer. So one of the ways where Airbnb started off initially is when a host sign up to list down a location at the website, they will have a free photography service. So Airbnb has established a lot of relationship with professional photographers for them to take beautiful pictures of the location and post it on Airbnb's website. So Airbnb's website is very, very visual, a lot of beautiful picture, and it needs to stay that way. And that's why they work with professional photographers, because you don't want to stay at not so beautiful place. You will always constantly prefer to stay at a beautiful place. And then we go to the final part of BMC, which is the cost structure. So the cost structure describes the cost of operating your business. So it revolves around the resources that you need to use for you to build your solution, and the fixed cost that is associated with building your solution, and the variable cost that is associated with building your solution. Fixed cost is a constant cost that you need to pay only once. Variable cost changes when your business changes, meaning that it is always constantly increasing as the volume of your business increase. So why you need to understand the cost structure? Because one of the key things that you need to understand is you are running a business. The way you want to make sure you are making profit is for you to understand the cost. So knowing methods to make money alone is not enough. Knowing the cost of specific things, that is what makes you different from a good businessman to a bad businessman. So in Airbnb's case, the cost revolves around technology cost, revolves around the intellectual property of building Airbnb, cost of acquiring customer, and many more. So there's 9 parts of BMC, and BMC is divided into two categories. Number one is the customer segment, channel, customer relationship, revenue, and value proposition. So this is the value creation part. The next one is the value proposition, also the value proposition, the key partners, key resources, key activities, and costs. This is the efficiency part of your business. So when you want to create value, creating value alone is not enough. So you need to make it cost efficient for you to create value. So your value needs to match the cost of delivering the value. Hence why the 9 parts of business model canvas is very, very important. Business model canvas, one part alone is not important. The way you use business model canvas is for you to understand the whole 9 part as a whole. And you actually have understood business model canvas. Impact textbook is actually an elaborated version of your business model canvas. And business model canvas is one of the key things that will be judged during the semi-final competition. So what we need you to do, is not just for you to build your business model canvas, is for you to understand that business is not a constant state. Business keeps on changing, meaning that you can't just write down your business model canvas and expect that it would be the final version of your business model canvas. So as of yesterday, what we realized is we realized that you guys have not yet ascend from building product to building a business. You guys need to really shift your mindset that you guys are not just building a product or proposing a service. You guys are building a business, and you guys need to be logic in building your business. So how can you be logic in building your business? Is by doing your BMC and by really understanding your BMC. If you do not understand your BMC, questions like, oh, I'm doing service business, how do I improve my service business? Questions like, I do not have a during sales, we only have before sales and after sales, won't come in. They will always have, the process will always be there. The process of improving your product, the process of improving your service will always be there. There's always been before sales, during sales, and after sales, because you are building a business. You are not just building an innovative product. So shift your mind that from building a product to building a business. Alibaba is not looking for the next great product. If they are looking for the next great product, they will call this competition the global product competition. So this is the global e-commerce talent. Global e-commerce talent requires you to build business. Global e-commerce talent requires you to have a shift of mindset from building product to building business. And there's a lot of key things you need to do when you are building your business. You need to make sure that your business is regulated. You need to make sure that your business is logic. And you need to make sure your business makes money. So here is the example for Airbnb. So the 9 segment of Airbnb, as I stated just now, customer segment, they divided it into 3, and they divided it based on the types of travelers. In terms of value proposition, they divide their value proposition into 2, one for the host and the value for the guest. And channel, they focus on a few channel. In terms of customer relationship, they do not just describe one customer relationship. What they do is they own the relationship. They manage a negative network effect, especially for people, especially for drivers. So especially for the host. And when we talk about key partners, they describe their host as customer segment and as their key partners. So as for rental and events and business travel partners. So please, when you describe your BMC, do not describe it just as a single unit. You need to explain to it. When you talk about revenue stream, you need to explain how much are you charging. When we talk about cost structure, you need to explain what are the costs associated with the business. So, as we have discussed since Monday, when you have an idea, your idea must be derived from a problem. And after you build your idea, you need to measure. That is why yesterday we touched on the concept of 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Because we do understand that building your full version of your product is not possible now. Because you have technical limitation, you have cost limitation, you have time limitation. That is why we ask you and we teach you the concept of launching 0.1. So when you are doing your exercise, yes, writing your exercise is one thing, and yes, understanding your exercise is another. But understand the logic behind why we ask you to do your exercise. The reason why we want you to send your exercise is, yes, for us to see whether you do your exercise. But when you write down your impact textbook, the aim is for you to read and understand what you write down. When we talk about cost, you need to understand the real cost associated in building your business. When we talk about customer segment and customer persona, we need you to understand the types of customers that you are dealing with, so that you can get the data, you can measure the data, and you can learn, and you can add in more features for your product. So remember, when you are improving your product, when you are building your minimum viable product, it is not a single evolution. Your product constantly evolves. Your product constantly evolves based on time, based on the data that you get, and based on the improvement that you can get. So tips is, you need to identify the gaps within your canvas. Do not please do not forget the problem that you are going to solve. Competition is the things that makes you different. You need to be ahead of the competition. You need to really focus on your value proposition. Data. We need you to get primary source of data. Think big and start small. And if you want to do your BMC, go to canvanizer.com. So for your task today, the task today, we want you to do a document on Canva. So go to Canva, choose presentation, and we want you to specifically describe 9 parts of BMC. Please use Canva to do it, and please use 16:9 presentation. There's 2 types of presentation. One of it is 16:9. So use that presentation, describe the 9 parts of BMC, and then upload it on Google Classroom by 12 p.m. tonight, 11:59 p.m. tonight. So as of tomorrow, we will build upon the BMC that you have built. Tomorrow we will go into understanding the design and how do you showcase specific information. As of today, please do your 9 parts BMC. You have actually understand the information. You can extract the information from your impact textbook. That is all from me for today. If you have any question, you can shoot inside the chat box. And if you do not have, okay, so one of the key questions, does this mean we can have a party play 2 roles in our business model canvas? Yes, sometimes a party play 3 roles. Sometimes a party will be part of the customer segment, part of the key partner, and also part of the key resources for the business model canvas. So that's why business model canvas, it's not like exam question. There's no right or wrong. Sometimes one person will be at multiple stage of BMC, and BMC is something that is constantly changing. So I don't think there will be any other question. Thank you for today. I will stop presenting.